the charisma piece, as far as not the word itself, but the ability to quickly establish a connection with a person to where the relationship lasts. So if it's for business, right, going back to, is this helpful? Obviously we can, for women it's great. But if I'm talking about from more of a financial standpoint, you know, I have a quote, everything you desire is on the other side of a good relationship. So if you don't have the ability to establish good relationships quickly, then you're at a massive disadvantage. And so if we're in the same room, most people go into a room and go, what can I get from everybody in this room? And so as they go to each person, they're scanning through their questions, through their style of communication. Let me see if you can do something for what I got going on. And how I had flipped that switch, which adds to that, is I would go into every conversation only listening for what I can do for them. And so the convo would be centered on essentially what the fuck they got going on, and not be filtering through my mind. Do I have a contact? Do I have a book? Do I have a direct customer? And, you know, obviously towards the end, after 15 minutes of talking about yourself and your goals, the natural thing to go is like, well, what do you got going on? Well, you know, you briefly mentioned something. Oh my God, such and such. But you leave that conversation thinking, that was a cool guy. Versus another motherfucker that tried to shove my car down their throat. I don't give a fuck if you work for Primerica, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with Primerica, but you know, the experience of you're the 50th motherfucker that give me a Primerica card this week. Why you and not any of the others, right? And so that charisma piece, going in there with the intent of, because you know, there are two things that people seek to feel, to express themselves and to feel understood. Because I can be yabbering at you and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not going to leave that conversation feeling great about it, because you're like, that guy didn't get me. And if you're, so that's expressing it for yourself. But if you don't, but if you, that's actually feeling understood, because you're expressing yourself. So you're meeting one half of it, but you don't feel understood. But you can also not get the opportunity to express yourself because I'm talking too much, right? And so you don't even get to, because expressing yourself comes before being understood. But there's sometimes you get the opportunity, like, what the fuck? I'm a fucking Republican. You're a fuck, you know, whatever the shit was. You're like, I never want to talk to that guy again, right? But you can also just never get the chance because it's like, yeah, whatever. So what I'm trying to do is, and then you're like, well, I don't want to talk to that person again because I didn't even get to share what the fuck I got going on. So that is always occurring in every convo. And so if you can balance it, if I go to a person and give them the opportunity for both, I'm saying, if you're honest, what's the biggest thing you think you want right now? Why are you even at this event? They're like, what is the biggest thing? Okay, so what do you think is the biggest blocker for that now? And it's not just for conversation's sake, it's genuine intent to help them. If you can, right? Whether getting through a contact or whatever. And they're like, I'm like, okay. So and then if I restate it, so it's this, and this. Yeah. Immediate understanding. If that's all you did, you're there for every person in that that room. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you just had them go through the two things. They expressed themselves and they felt understood. So you're whatever you want just from doing that. Oh man, like they'll bend over hand and foot to help you. So a lot of the people that I interacted with, I thought about them like, what is it? Why don't I like this guy? You know, not in like at the base level, don't like him as a human being, but what is he doing wrong? He came up to me and I couldn't care less what his card was about. Like, you know, like what about that? And what about, and I'd go to networking events all the time. And then I thought about it as like, when certain people come up, their intent is purely, what can you do for me? And you can, it's oozing off them. And the moment, oh, what do you do? Okay, here's my card. And it's like, realistically, why in God's name would I take your card with any real serious consideration? Right, I don't even remember your name. You didn't ask my, you know, like even if it did, oh, you're Bob, all right, cool. But and it's like, dude, right? And so
you're hungry,
man, and that's fair. Like it's just you can't expect people to want to do all this stuff for you, and you have offer no value.
Thirsty is never attractive,
and that's definitely not the case in business. It's definitely not the case in relationship, but it applies there too. So that's just been my experience of being able to quickly establish high-profile relationships, like easily, like within 10 minutes. Their secretary, I've never seen him talk to somebody that long. You know, like I mean, literally, this would be like, how did you get invited to that? I didn't even know. And it's like I couldn't answer it back then, but now after studying like how humans work as far as actual communication, I'm like, okay, it's the give and take, but give heavy first. And then do your ask later if you have something that you want.